We're just in this crazy water environment.
With everybody I spoke to, the first time you mentioned the word pirates, it's like a bomb exploded, really, like as if everybody on the whole island heard it.
Right.
So what's piracy? No, we don't have that. Don't talk about it. Lower your voice.
When I talk about the word pirates, people usually think Captain Hook, Peter Pan, Johnny Depp, Captain Morgan's rum, lame eye patches, little kid fantasy stuff. But most people aren't thinking or looking in the right places, like the Straits of Malacca, a narrow strip of water slicing through Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, the bridge between the West and the East for maritime trade. This is where the world's oceans become choke points and millions of dollars in cargo pass through daily, where poor, money-hungry, seafaring people can stealthily make their way in and out of trouble. Somalia, Malaysia, Indonesia, piracy is happening. From small-time boat thugs to crime syndicates taking down million-dollar tankers. It's real, worldwide, and wreaking havoc on global trade. I first found out about pirates when I was in the military, training the Singaporean armed forces in counter-piracy. In the last couple of years, things have only heated up. So I decided to pack my bags and set off on a journey to the other side of the world, to the Malaccan Straits, piracy's birthplace and current hotspot, to see if I could get up close and personal with modern-day piracy. The following is my journey. I guess London's a bit of an odd place to start a pirate journey, but that was my first stop. London obviously hasn't had a serious piracy threat for hundreds of years, but it's still a maritime trading epicenter and happens to be home to the international organization which monitors piracy, the IMB, or International Maritime Bureau, headed by Mr. P. Mukadon. Mr. Mukadon's like the godfather of the anti-piracy movement, essentially chiefing our planet's waters, keeping tabs on everything from his office on the Thames River. Muku agreed to talk with me and give me the rundown on what, who, and where piracy is.
Since 2003, the attacks of piracy have been coming down steadily. In 2007, we had the first upturn. Attacks increased to 263 attacks a year. And all the waterways in the world are very important. The Malacca Straits is very important.
So can you tell us about how the response to piracy works?
Well, we monitor piracy wherever it occurs in the world. We receive reports of the attacks. Immediately, it is passed on to the nearest law enforcement agency for action.
In Southeast Asia, for example, who is a pirate?
They are mariners who have turned bad. They know how to handle weapons and terrorize the crew members into doing what they want them to do.
It's unreal that in the year 2008 there are people taking down ships like this.
If you know how the shipping business operates, it's not difficult to imagine how they get away with it.
Muku was a great start to my journey, not only breaking down the modern piracy world, but also setting me up with his colleague in Malaysia who runs counter-piracy.
Pirates Den. We're going to roll there, see if we can go find some pirates ourselves.
Going by boat to Batam took us right through the Malacca Straits and allowed us to explore the one thin slice of water that connects the whole world. For hundreds of years, the Straits have been a strategic center as seaborne goods flowed from east to west. In modern times, the Straits serve the same purpose. Today, almost 70,000 merchant vessels transit through the Straits of Malacca. Over a fifth of the world's goods moved by sea, and over a third of the world's crude oil transits the Straits annually. But this strategic choke point is still plagued by pirates. In 2005, the mega insurance company Lloyd's of London classified the Malacca Straits as a war zone, creating two major ripple effects. First, international governments in the area raced to clean up their act, and the piracy numbers have theoretically dropped. But this also deterred ship owners from reporting piracy. So piracy has become vastly underreported, and despite the 237 official reported attacks, the real extent of the piracy problem is unknown.
So we just woke up in our hotel room looking out over the city of Batam, and things are different now. This story is about to change. This isn't sterile Kuala Lumpur or Singapore. This is a third world country. Batam is sketchy and kind of dangerous, but that's exactly where the pirates hang. They're down there somewhere. We're gonna very gently, because everybody keeps telling us how dangerous this place is, ask around and see if we can find any pirates out there.
Located right off the Straits, only miles from the big trade lines of Singapore, Batam's essentially a pirate Disneyland, where shady types coming off a heist, like say a pirate, can escape, lay low, and spend money on brothels, gambling dens, and nightclubs with little worry about police presence. Without a guide and translator, there wasn't much we could do. Then we caught a huge break. We were put in touch with one of the most well-connected guys on the island.
I want to introduce you guys to our new friend. We call him Johnny Batam. He's going to be rolling around with us, showing us the ropes. So tell me about pirates.
Pirates came to here for the happy time.
When they're here,
yes,
and they spend their money, what are they doing?
It's gold.
Girls.
Yes.
They get ladies.
And then ecstasy.
Ecstasy.
Yes.
Drugs.
Right. A drug.
Yeah.
We have to go to the Belakang Padang Island. It's very famous. It's private location. It's not difficult to find them.
Right.
But we must too slow.
No guarantee, but we move slowly.
Yeah.
Why?
We move too slow.
Because it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Oh, that's comforting.
Thankfully, Johnny was plugged into Batam. Before we went to his famed pirate island, he wanted to hit the streets, taking us downtown to where the unemployed fishermen hang out and wait for the jobs to come in. These are the types of guys who have to deal with pirates and also sometimes get recruited for their heists. Perfect types for us to do some networking with.
Do they want some coffee or anything?
Maybe they like drink beer.
Oh, get beer. You guys want beer? Everybody here is a seaman.
Mostly like captain, engineer, mechanic.
And right now, is there work or no one's
jobless.
Jobless. Does that mean that people will come, like, recruit?
If you're asking that question, I cannot answer because I'm not this member of the pirate. I got one of friend out here
In the Straits.
Malacca Strait.
In Malacca Strait. And what happened?
Just tied up.
Did he tell you the story?
Just tied up, punch, get a handphone, get the money, everything. And
He's not here.
He's not here.
Can we call him?
After some negotiating with the sailors, they gave me the phone number to their friend who had recently been robbed by pirates. We gave him a call, and a few hours later he agreed to talk over some afternoon beers in our hotel room. What a legend. The self-proclaimed Indonesian Chuck Norris lookalike. Played down the fact that before he became a sailor, he might have done some pirating himself. He sported a commando shirt and a tattoo with a pirate skull and crossbones, and the word Maut, which means death in Indonesia. Does it get any more pirate than that? His English wasn't so great, so he did some drawings to help out his story. We're gonna call our new buddy Chuck Norris because he looks like Chuck Norris. That's what that's what he wants to be called for the purposes of this interview, and he's got a hell of a story. Like, listen to this. Chuck, can you tell us what happened?
I am seaman, eh?
You're a seaman.
Yes, I am seaman.
He was on a tanker ship.
Yes, tanker ship.
He was on watch from 12 to 6.
I duty.
Yeah.
Duty.
I see the fishing boat in my seat.
The small boat, the turn around, very close, the tanker. And then help from tanker.
Yes. They hopped up.
Sudah semua 6 orang pakai gun. 6 people.
Suddenly the 6 people bring gun.
M16.
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 Okay.
Jadi pas itu bang, kami semua angkat tangan. Big tanker coming.
Big tanker.
Big tanker coming.
Cannot move from behind because they have gun.
The pirates controlled another tanker ship, probably stolen, and he was the one who was responsible for pumping. The pirates at gunpoint told him to pump the oil from his ship to the pirate ship, right? So these guys are basically stealing 200,000 tons of crude oil. How much money is that?
Maybe million.
Over $1 million.
Million.
All the pirates left. And they left you tied up for 3 days.
3 days.
When the Thai Navy found these guys, they found all 13 crew members, including the captain, tied up, living on bread and water that the pirates had left them. Right. Well, how come Chuck Norris didn't kick their ass?
Oh, cannot. Because they have gun.
Yeah, okay. They have guns. He just said that the best thing to do is not to fight back. The Indonesians, like, they know not to fight back, but there was a Korean captain who did, and, like, you saw what happened to him, is what he said.
What happened to him?
He was executed. He's still worried about pirates to this day. It's pretty insane. I don't want to be too dramatic, but, like, the guy driving the boat, we're just going to call him the captain, okay? Because he doesn't want his name used. And he is basically handing us the keys to the pirate kingdom.
Going to Batam, the pirate hangout.
The real extent of the piracy problem is unknown. Without a guide and translator, there wasn't much we could do. Then we met Johnny Batam. With our days in Batam running out, Johnny took us back to the Malacca Straits one last time. Finally, he had gotten the tip we were looking for. A pirate type willing to take us to Belakang Padang and the infamous pirate islands we were hearing all about.
We just arrived at one of the little harbor places, and we're renting a little skiff. We're jumping on a boat to go to this other island, which is apparently a jumping off place for some of the pirate attacks. Let's go for a ride. Whoa.
Our first stop was Tertak Kaban, a small fishing village where we were told we could meet our pirate guide. As it turns out, Johnny had indeed pulled off the unimaginable. He found us a true modern-day Indonesian pirate. Our captain was involved in small-time piracy heists for which he had done time in prison. He had also spent years shuttling between the small islands and pirate hangouts around Batam. Not only had Johnny found us a pirate, he agreed to be our guide through the pirate underworld.
I'm not sure I really broke down what's going on right now for you, but it's pretty insane. I don't want to be too dramatic, but like the guy driving the boat, we're just going to call him the captain, okay? Because he doesn't want his name used. And he is basically handing us the keys to the pirate kingdom. He's telling us all about the operations, where they're planned, where the hangouts are. It's pretty heavy right now, and we're just in this crazy water environment where we keep pulling up to these shacks in the middle of the ocean.
Let me show you the Indonesian Navy. Doing their best.
What the captain's doing right now is he's showing us how they come up on it. All right, here we go.
Goat Island was a remote seaweed farming atoll where many of the villagers had never even seen a Westerner. It's from islands just like this that pirates are recruited. That said, the people there were some of the sweetest we met. It was the perfect place to see the root conditions which breed piracy.
How big is this island? How many people?
Around 100 over.
100 people?
Yeah, 100 people stay here.
100 people live on this island. That's intense. And about 300 camping goats. All right, so look, this is, you gotta kind of understand where we are. We're on this little island called Pulau Serang. Right across the way there, you can see Singapore. You can see like the outline of the skyscrapers in the distance. Really close in terms of geography, a million miles away in terms of lifestyle, culture, affluence, right? And these are the conditions that breed piracy. From places like this little island that those guys are coming from. See, there's a whole nother level that I can't penetrate. Frankly, like law enforcement agencies can't penetrate either. And that's the gangs that organize these guys. And that's where the real money is made. These guys are just trying to feed their kids, feed their groms.
As I left Indonesia, the riddle which is modern piracy was still swirling in my head. The international trade circles and big-time crime syndicates, the small-time fisherman, turned new recruit, and the recruit's children. Mostly I was left with memories of the people and the sea they've inhabited for thousands of years. Like Johnny said, as long as big trade boats run through these seas and there are hungry mouths to be fed, piracy cannot be stopped. So we're left with this ancient maritime tradition, which will continue to haunt our oceans long into the foreseeable future.